Hey, I am out here at Greenwood Cemetery. It's my mom's birthday, and I am feeling weird. It just feels weird. Since her passing on March 25th, it's been a whirlwind of confusion, to be quite honest. And I didn't know, like, how I was going to deal with it after her passing. But before her passing, I just knew how I was going to deal with it. I knew that everything would be fine and easy. And mom said it was going to be really hard for me. And I just couldn't conceptualize it until I experienced it. So after her passing, the biggest thing that I felt besides grief, and I cried for a good month solid. When I mean cry, I mean all day crying for a good month, and then after that it might have subsided to most of the day, and after that it subsided to a little bit of the day to more like occasionally, but I still cry a lot, and sometimes I just don't even know why I'm crying, and that's a very confusing and weird feeling, to cry and not know why, where literally you just start to have tears streaming down your face with no thoughts in your head. Super weird. So that's kind of what her death has felt like to me, is just super weird. Like right now, it didn't feel like that wasn't the initial feeling, but the feeling right now is just, it's weird. I'm out here at the cemetery, of which, when mom was alive, we talked about this a lot, because right here is my grandparents. And I'll just show you where I am. So the cemetery where my grandparents chose to be buried is called, I think it's called the Love Garden. So all of the headstones are all rose quartz. It's really gorgeous. But mom was buried right here, so I expected to see dirt like that, because it was just since March. But I guess they come and put grass, so the grass has already grown in, and so it felt good. Like, I'm like, okay, I can just put my yoga mat down and honor my mom. So here is very interesting, because my grandparents are right here. We've got a lot of family in this entire cemetery, but my uncle is right there and my aunt is right there. So being right here is comforting. It is being with family. And so it's an easy place to come, and I didn't expect that I'd ever come. Meaning, when mom was alive, we'd talk about this and I'd say, whatever you want, mom. I mean, once you're past, and you know, I feel like once the body's gone, the body's gone, and there's nothing we can do about it. And I'd be very logical, or my conversations with her were very logical. But now that she's gone, no, it is not logical at all. Nothing feels logical. And some of the biggest things that I've been going through is that for the last 9 months, well, for the last several years that she was struggling with her health, I had, right after she had a stroke, I had started a business. So the timing was not ideal, but you know what? I've gotten through it, plus honored my mom and did the best I could with my mom. And I started writing about I started writing a while back, like really writing, but whenever I just dug into this one project I'm doing right now, it was about 9 months ago. So I've put insurance a little bit to the side, and I'm writing. And I'm 3 lessons away from a 13-week course called Your Journey, Your Rules, the Be Your Own Boss Blueprint. And it goes through a series of topics that have to do with introspection. And when I say be your own boss, I mean not go and be the boss of a business. I mean, you got to be your own boss if you're going to boss a business, right? So it goes through a series of things that you have to consider to be the boss of yourself, to be the boss of your life. And it's interesting because in this process between me starting to write and today, mom passed away in the middle of that. And so it's given me a different perspective to be able to write from, yeah, a different perspective to write from. And the biggest thing that I felt was a loss of purpose. I just felt lost, like I have no purpose and confused and distraught. I don't know, lots of adjectives there. But this past week, I started the last module in the course, which is called Wealth and Affluence. And I started that. This was written 9 months ago. The course topics were written 9 months ago. So this week's topic to write on was about defining your purpose. And in writing, I came up with a very interesting way to look at purpose, and that is that we don't just have one purpose, we have multiple purposes. But all in all, my takeaway of it was okay, I do have a purpose, and I was living out my purpose because this was defined back in 2017 when I wrote my mission statement. That it's so my purpose is so internalized that I was living it day to day without having to look at it day to day. Does that make sense? So even through my mom's struggles, which she didn't define as struggles, I'm defining it as struggles. Um, I was living in my purpose, and I've been through a lot in the last few years. And I was just attacked by a German Shepherd. I looked down and I see these scars, which there's this scar, there's scars on my leg, there's scars on my knee, but it's like, what the heck? It's a lot. So, um, so do I have a purpose? Yes, I have a purpose. Am I living my purpose? Yes, I'm living my purpose. Am I struggling with grief? Yes, I'm struggling with grief. Is it making me feel heavy and not myself? Yes, my body, when I'm holding on to something like, holding on to my mom so tightly because I don't want her to be gone. It happened too quickly on my timeline. It was not time. Because I'm holding on so tightly, it just starts to attach to my body. Like, I know this about myself, that when I hoard, like I'm hoarding my mom, I'm hoarding my mom's things. It's very difficult to know what to do with her stuff. So it's a showing up in my body. So now I'm at a place after having written Define Your Purpose for my course. I'm at a place where I feel like, okay, I can get to that. I can get to that too. I can get back to my purpose, or I can get back to Tina as what Tina feels like in her best self. And so I'm working towards that. I haven't been working out. I haven't been doing yoga. I've been meditating regularly. Meditation got me through most of the early days of my mom's passing. But today, on her birthday, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to come up here and be near her remains. Do I feel like she's here? No, that's part of what's weird. I'm like, this is just weird. It's just weird. Um, but nonetheless, this was the last, you know, place I saw her physical body. But also in this area, I have memories of my mom because we would come out here to see my grandparents. So there's memories of us walking this recently. I would bring her out here. She liked to come out here, probably once a quarter. We would come out here and she'd just walk, and I don't know, like we didn't stay, we didn't sit. She didn't have any kind of ritualistic way that she wanted to visit. So I don't know. I just drove her out here and let her walk around and do what she needed to do. Um, so now I'm here, and maybe I'm developing a new ritual of coming and practicing yoga. I feel like I want to honor her with some sun salutations. It wasn't something that mom understood, or, she just knew that I practiced yoga, and I've practiced yoga for a long time, and I studied yoga, and it's my way of connecting. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to practice yoga. So back to my purpose. My purpose, as I defined it many, 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 many years ago, is to live and leave the legacy of a leader by creating future leaders. And a part of that mission statement that I wrote was two components that came out when I was writing Define Your Purpose for the course. Was one, by seeking to understand before I'm understood, and by gaining the respect of my family, friends, and colleagues. So I realized that I am a type of person that does seek to understand before being understood. And I did that with my mom. And now after my mom's death, I am taking the time to understand myself, or understand my needs. And that's been a little bit difficult of a process, to just try to figure out what I need. I don't even know what I need. I just know I'm tired. I'm mentally exhausted. Lots has happened after my mom's death that's been traumatic. The most recent being attacked by the dog. And so, but nonetheless, I do have a purpose. I am living my purpose. And one of the things that is starting to synthesize for me is that I do have a reason to live, and that my mom's legacy lives through me. So that's really interesting, that I know the values that my mom gave me, and the strength that she taught me, and how she empowered me from the time I was a little girl. And through living, even though that's not how she lived her life, she did not live her life the way she taught me to live my life. Through living that, to continue to live that way, empowered, compassionate, faithful, that I keep her memory alive in my heart. And as people see me, they know I came from a mother. We all come from our mothers. So then she gets honored when somebody honors me. So a story that comes to mind is I guess it was on Friday or Saturday. I think it was on Saturday. Yeah, Saturday brunch. One of my best friends' son is working at a restaurant, and while we had been sitting there all day with brunching, between three of us, our friends, and there's a couple that came over and was looking for his mom. And then my friend is like, "Yeah, I'm the mom." And they were so doting on her for the way he presented himself in life, the way he presented himself to them as their waiter, how respectful he was, how attentive he was, just everything. And this couple had complimented him on, wow, your parents must have raised you well, and was complimenting him. And in that moment he was able to say, well, my mom is sitting right there. And they were able to quickly, come around and compliment her on such a good what a good job she did with her children. So that in that moment, I could realize, wow, we as children are an example of what our parents did for us. That's very interesting. I had really never considered that before. Even though people tell me that, oh, well, your purpose, and as you live your purpose, you will um, honor your mom's legacy. That does not make any sense to me. Like I said, I'm so confused about stuff. But it's true now, given an example. I'm going to get bit by that. Not bit, stung. It's like a yellow jacket. I'm watching it. So now I was given an example to see that play out in real time. So cool, right? Super cool. All right. What else has kind of come out? I think that's probably the biggest thing, is that the way we live our life, we are an example of our parents. And maybe not every situation, right? Not every situation. The other thing is I have a very real connection now that I didn't maybe understand before, even whenever I was teaching yoga, of how our mental capacity and things emotionally that are going on in our brain, things that are going on emotionally, have a physical connection in our body. So, through some traumatic events in my life that were out of my control, I'd been experiencing severe pain in my head, and in my back, just in my mouth. Lots of, like, I'm talking about excruciating pain. So, what I realized is I thought it was physical pain, but as I looked through to some natural therapies like herbs, I realized that it was really my adrenaline system that is on overdrive through the trauma. And so I've been working on my adrenaline system, and also working on that emotional, spiritual connection with my body. Now, imagine this: the pain has subsided. The pain still comes back, like today. This is so interesting to me. And I tell these stories so that you can just be introspective about your journey. That's it. So that you can, maybe you have an aha moment through my stories. And yes, I will write this eventually, but it's right here and right now. So let's just talk about it. So, what I realized is that my pain goes down when my emotions are regulated. If I have my emotions regulated, my pain starts to subside. But as soon as my pain notches up, or I have any kind of stressful situation, like today is a little stressful for me. I wake up, it's my mom's birthday. I can't call my mom. I can't take my mom to breakfast. I can't do all the things that we used to do. I can't laugh with her. We would be laughing right now. If she was still here, we'd be joking around and laughing about the stupidest shit. We'd just laugh. I can't do that. So there's a buildup of emotions and stress in my body. So guess what happened today? I start having pain in my head. So it's a connection. There's a connection. And how do you get rid of it? Well, you have to treat the root, not the, what would that be? That would be, I don't know. I don't know the doctor terms, but the symptoms, you have to treat the root. That's a symptom. Pain is a symptom. The root is emotional at this point. It's what I'm picking up. I don't think initially it was emotional. I think initially it was physical pain, but now there's leftover residual emotions from that I'm struggling with. So that's another thing that has really been pointed out to me through my introspection is that events happen and they leave emotional scars on us, and then they start stacking. These emotions start stacking. Another event happens, another event happens, another event happens, and it's stacking, and it causes this overwhelming this overwhelming probably chemical reaction in your brain and your body that has to come out some way, and it comes out systematic through pain, suffering, disease, whatever. So you know what I guess my takeaway is: get your shit together, get your emotions in line, figure out what you can do to regulate your emotions and heal yourself. And I'm not taking away anything from anyone that's dealing with, real pain and suffering, but take a look at that. If you're in real pain and suffering, take a look at that and see if it doesn't resonate. And it's not a practice, it's not like taking a pill. You have to do the work. And that's why in our society, people don't want to do the work that it takes to get past these kinds of things. And yeah, I think that those are the things that I've been going through. I'm so excited about my new course and finishing my course. And oh, one other thing. Yeah, this is another thing that's been really interesting is that I've never been one to be proud of myself really or excited about what I'm working on or think that I'm inspiring anyone. I don't feel like I'm an inspirational person really. Even though I'm told I am, I don't feel that. I don't resonate with that. So this is really getting deep about what's going on in my life. So I have several business bank accounts, and through this process with my mom and the writing and everything, I have this particular business account that I've used for a particular business, and it's overdrawn. It's not overdrawn by a lot, but it's been overdrawn for probably 3 months. The bank account, meaning overdrawn, it's in a negative, right? It's negative. And I haven't jacked with it. I haven't had the capacity to mess with it. So on Saturday morning, I get a call from the bank, and it's a collector. I answer. I didn't know what the call was about, but I answer. So the woman was inquisitive as to why my bank account was overdrawn. And since she asked, hey, you asked, lady, I'm about to tell you everything that's been going on in my life. So I take her through a series of things that have been going on in my life since my mom was even alive. And I didn't even tell her everything. And I said, and in this process, I'm still working on my established business. I'm starting a new business. And I'm in the thick of starting this new business. So what am I supposed to do? Stop it? No. Bills still got to get paid. So I'm suffering, I'm grieving, but I'm still at it as best I can. Things are falling apart. Yes, I know things are falling apart, but suddenly all of these new responsibilities are thrusted upon me that I wasn't ready for. And I was just barely hanging on by the skin of my teeth anyway. And so long story short, we stay on the phone. I stay on the phone with a creditor for like over an hour and a half as we just talk through things. And it's like she made an emotional connection with me through my stories, which I know I'm a decent storyteller. And towards the end of the conversation, she tells me, "You've inspired me. You're so strong. You've inspired me." And I'm like, okay, I guess I thank you. I'm grateful, but I don't understand or resonate with that. And as I was telling a friend about that story, I said, yeah, the creditor told me that that I inspired her. And I mean, I don't see how I can inspire anybody in the mess that I'm in right now. And he's like, well, what would she gain from telling you that you're inspiring? I was like, nothing. She's a creditor. He's like, then why do you suppose she said it? I guess she said it because I inspired her. So you're inspiring. Oh, okay. All right. Well, we put it together like that. I guess I'm inspiring. And yes, I know I have been tenacious to continue to write this course and continue to show up to my writing, to continue to show up to my responsibilities that I committed to before my mom passed away. It's not easy. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm struggling in many ways, but I'm still showing up. I don't know what the takeaway is from that yet about being inspiring or people seeing you and you not seeing yourself. That is probably imposter syndrome. That's definitely imposter syndrome. So I wrote, imposter syndrome's the second lesson in the 13-week course. So look, I'm writing about it, I'm teaching about it because I do have a level of understanding. I can name it. At least I can name it. I can help you name it. And I know how to work through it. It doesn't make the work any easier. The work is the work. So now I'm just going to get some sun salutations in, and I'll keep streaming and we'll do sun salutations together. And the sun salutations are for two reasons. One, to move my body and to move the energy that I have stuck in it today that feels not good. It feels negative. It feels negative because it's grieving. It's not happiness. My mom's in the ground. I'm happy for her. So freaking confusing. That is so confusing. It's so weird. I'm happy for her, sort of, maybe. I don't know. Like, I'm not there yet. Not that I'm not happy for her. I just don't understand it. Okay, so nonetheless, there's that going on with all of not just the stress that the death of my mom has left me with the task list, but my heart. My heart is sad. So all of those things literally feel like it feels heavy. It feels weird in my body. Like I can feel it in my body. That comes through a practice of yoga to be able to connect with your body so strongly. Yeah, I can feel it. So I'm going to do this sun salutation to move the energy and get that out through my breathing practice. And the sun salutations might lead into, if I'm lucky, I have enough energy to do part of my Ashtanga practice, maybe. I'm not having any expectations of myself, but I am on my mat. And that is the first step, is getting on the mat. The second thing that I want to accomplish through my yoga practice today, through the sun salutations, is that I know that whenever I practice yoga, the world disappears. It's because I'm a practiced yogi. I can literally separate myself, my physical body, from more of an astral, like it's not spiritual. It's just not of this world. When I'm in my yoga practice, I can drop the physical world around me and just be in my meditative mind. And through that, maybe I make a connection with mom. Maybe. I mean, after my mom's death, she was connecting with me. I could literally hear her talking to me. But I felt, after a while, I kind of felt guilty that I might be keeping her hear from where she needs to be. So I stopped trying to talk to her all the time. Anyway, at this point, I don't really know. There's no proof in any of it. And all you have is your belief system. And everybody's belief system is different. So I'm honoring my belief system. And through honoring my belief system, I really don't need anyone else's permission or, for that matter, opinion on how I try to come to my truth. Yeah. So here we go. We're going to do some yoga practice. And I'm going to just back up. Oh, sitting like this is hurting me. I'll back up the camera and we'll just see how it goes. Hi, Mommy. Oh, I got today's. Hi, Mommy. Mom, happy birthday. Mom, mom, mom. Okay, that's a wrap. Oh, that's a wrap. I think I will go get something that Mom liked to eat, and that'll be it. It's time to get back to Dallas. It's late. It's late. Bye.